All right, good afternoon, folks. It is 4 o'clock and I will call the City Plan Commission meeting to order. I'll call the roll. Brayden? Here. Jerry? Here. Marilyn?
I'm here.
Kim? Here. Travis? Alder Bellinger? Here. There we go. If folks could please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, is there a motion to approve the minutes from the last Plan Commission meeting on September 10th?
So moved.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor of approval of the minutes, state aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Chair votes aye. Minutes are approved. All right. Next is application for conditional use with exceptions by Me Lee to operate Mung Delights Bake Shop. We're doing public hearings first. So we'll open up the public hearing for application for conditional use with exceptions by Me Lee to operate Mung Delights Bake Shop at 827 Michigan Avenue. Anyone wishing to speak on this item? Anyone wishing to speak on this one? Anyone wishing to speak? All right, next, we'll go into the next public hearing. Application for conditional use permit with exceptions by Joel Pipcorn to construct 5-unit townhouse buildings on the east side of South Business Drive. Any neighbors on this item wishing to speak? Any neighbors wishing to speak on this one? All right, seeing none, we'll see if anyone wants to speak on the next one. General Development Plan amendment by Malibu Apartments LLC to construct the Malibu Apartments on parcel number 592813183990. Anyone wishing to speak on this one? I could only have guessed. Andy, if you just want to introduce yourself, name, address, and then you'll have 4 minutes. Thank you.
All right. Hi, my name is Andrew Baldwin. Address is 2228 Lakeshore Drive. I've spoke here before on this particular project, and I've already been speaking with the development team a little bit, and I think this is an example of how things can work when the process kind of plays out. When we first looked at the plans, we had some very significant concerns about its location and the city infrastructure and things like that. And we've been meeting with the developers, some older people, Mayor Sorensen, and it seems like some of the changes have occurred of the issues that we thought were things that made the project more difficult and less fitting than what it could be. None of us were here to stop the project. We just wanted to guide it and help it cohabitate. And I just want to touch on 3 things real quickly on that. The first one is moving the entranceway off of Clara to 7th Street. That makes it so much easier for the people that live in the neighborhood, and that was a concern we raised, and just for the traffic of the area. The next thing I want to touch on that's important is beach access. So Kite Beach plays a very important role in the community. Now, let it be a small group of people, probably less than 20, that regularly ride there from Sheboygan, but up to 50 from around the area. But it has an outsized impact on the community as being such a visible and exciting thing going on in Sheboygan. And it's literally the best spot on this side of the lake. So we want to figure out how can we maintain access to that spot as kite surfers. Everybody's talked about it. We want kite surfers to use the beach. We want kite surfers to use the beach. But where in the plan at this point, I'm kind of asking, do we see something set up for access to the beach? I think getting rid of the restaurant, once we really looked at the size of it and realized that it was for close to 150 people and the parking demanded with that will help with access. Though I'm not against pre-made good food and drinks, okay? The last thing I want to talk about is the city infrastructure. This is the one thing the city controls, and you guys as the Planning Commission have a big say in this. The old plan, and I know it was not official, but it was what was voted on, had cul-de-sacs and roadways out into the beach. Hopefully we can bring that in. South Beach is an amazing gem of an area to have in the city. We should not be giving it away for free. And I argue and suggest that being good stewards of the beach should encourage us to put the infrastructure on the land of the development, not on the beach or the beachfront or the dunes. That includes extending Georgia Avenue through the dune, and that also includes the cul-de-sac at the end of Clara, which I know they've talked about widening Clara and adjusting some stuff. So those are my 3 points, all right? And I think the big takeaway is the process works when we all work together. I want to commend everybody for that. But how do we have access for the kiters? All right, the traffic situation and parking is still something that's going to hang in the air. And how do we control city infrastructure to keep South Beach and that area as natural as possible? So as the Planning Commission, let's work together on that and continue to build off the success that we've had already. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to be heard on this item? Anyone else wishing to be heard? Last call. Anyone else? All right, is there a motion to close hearings?
So moved.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor of closing the hearing, state aye.
Aye.
Any objections? All right, moving along. Next, items for discussion and possible action. Resolution number 772425 by Elders Bellinger and Ramey, amending the final plat of the 29th Street subdivision located east of St. Nicholas Hospital on North 29th Street between Superior Avenue and Saman. Elise, staff report?
So we originally approved their preliminary plat a few weeks ago. Right now, they're coming back for their final plat. We're not looking at changes here. It's just we're finalizing their plat for those additional 7 buildable lots on 29th Street.
Thank you. John, do you have something?
No.
Okay. Is there a motion or other questions? Move to approve. Thank you. Is there a second? Moved and seconded. All those in favor, state aye.
Aye.
Any objections? Chair votes aye. That's approved. Next, application for conditional use with exceptions by Mealy to operate Hmong Delights Bake Shop at 827 Michigan Avenue. Elise, do you have a staff report?
The business will provide authentic Hmong American delicacies and bakery products to the community. The location is currently a hair salon, but the proposed business is an indoor commercial kitchen that will serve items such as sandwiches, meat buns, cakes, and baked goods. The projected timeline for the business to open is December 2024 or January 2025.
Thank you. Does the applicant have any additional comments you'd like to add? Sure, you want to come on up?
I just wanted to make a small correction on the initial filing. It said no renovation, only kitchen needed, but I guess there was a mix-up with that. There is going to be renovations because the kitchen is a renovation.
Yep.
Yeah. Just want to say that part.
Perfect, thank you. Questions from commissioners? Marilyn?
Thank you. December would be wonderful because then we'd be ready for all of us to purchase something before Christmas.
All right, thank you.
Other questions or motions?
Move to approve. Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor, state aye.
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 Any objection? Chair votes aye. That is approved. Thank you. Next, application for conditional use permit with exceptions by Joel Pipcorn to construct 5-unit townhome building on east side of South Business. Elise, staff report?
The site used to be the location of a hotel. The building has since been demolished, and what is left is the hard asphalt drive surface and concrete pool/pool deck. The site is to be used for a single-family building that will house a 5-unit, 2-story condo. When the previous building that stood on this property burned down and was then demolished, the concrete drive and the pool deck remained. It is currently in a state of disrepair. Staff is recommending that a condition that concrete and gravel surfaces that are not being improved are removed and are landscaped with grass and/or approved landscaping.
Thank you. Does the applicant have any additional comments you'd like to add? No. Okay. Questions from commission members at all? Jerry?
Thank you. Applicant, would that pose a problem for you to make the improvements that staff is recommending? No, it's not. Okay, great.
Marilyn?
This must help a little bit with the housing not available in Sheboygan? A little bit?
A little bit.
A
Step
little
ahead.
bit,
Yep.
okay,
One step forward.
thank you.
Other questions or motions?
Make a motion to approve. second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor, state aye.
Aye.
Any objection? Chair votes aye. That is approved. Next is General Development Plan Amendment by Malibu Apartments LLC to construct the Malibu Apartments on parcel number 5928131839. Elise, do you have a staff report?
Following recent consultations with local residents and members of the kitesurfing community, the developer has decided to revise the site plan to enhance the project and better serve the community's needs. The revised site plan includes relocation of the building, a relocation of the parking garage entrance, an elevation adjustment, new public parking in cul-de-sac, removal of the commercial restaurant space, and reconfiguration of the first floor units.
Thank you. Does the applicant have any additional comments you'd like to add? Questions from commissioners? John?
Thank you. First, I would like to commend you, Jake, for being as open as you have been and transparent and willing to work with the neighbors and the kite users, the people that use the beach. So thank you for doing that and amending your original plan. I am a little disappointed that the restaurant's going to be going, but I get that, and I think it makes more sense to have first level living space there. So that makes sense. I did receive a phone call from Mr. Tom Liebel. So Tom Liebel owns Sheboygan Paper Box Company. In full disclosure, Tom Liebel is a good friend of mine. But he did call me, and not that he's voicing, he is supporting the project. He's 100% in favor of the project, but he did want to voice some concerns that he has, and he's made you aware of these, and Casey Bradley as well. Number one is the noise factor. They are running 24, 5, or 6, depending upon the time of year and what they have going on through that plant. So there is going to be some noise, and there is going to be some truck traffic. There is that on 7th Street, and he just wants you to be aware of that, and the residents, people that eventually will move in there. He does not want to have a situation down the road, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, where all of a sudden there's getting a bunch of complaints about this existing manufacturing facility that really hasn't changed much of anything, and it continues to operate the way that they always have. So I just wanted to throw that out there and make you aware of that. And I know you've met with him in the past, and Casey has several times as well, but he does support the project, and he just wanted to put that out there so that you continue to be aware of it. And it's my understanding that you are putting sound deadening on that west wall, that west side. Is that correct?
Yep.
To
Exterior wall.
Okay. Thank you. That's all I have.
Okay, thanks,
Thank you.
Marilyn, did you have something?
I just wanted to say, I'm glad Malibu apartments are going up. As we all know, it's been 22 years of extreme contaminated land, and you're the first developer in 22 years that's willing to take on that contamination and secure it, because we shouldn't be doing kites or playing or walking on that land right now.
Thanks, Marilyn. Braden?
Yeah, so my question is to clarify on the infrastructure piece that was brought up during the earlier comments. I asked a similar question to this before, but for the public infrastructure surrounding this is not a vote on that, does not affect that. That would have to go through DPW, correct?
Yeah, what we're looking at is what is on these two parcels.
Got it. So then for the cul-de-sacs that were mentioned, that was just a conceptual drawing on your initial plans to help us understand where this is going to be situated?
Correct. Yep. The idea is we create an easement to give some of our land use to the city so that they can widen Clara and put a cul-de-sac in. But ultimately, that's on the city to perform that as that is a right of way. So
Got it. So separate discussion for a future time. This is just on the private land that we're voting on today. Okay, thank you.
To just make a clarifying point, the parcel that we're looking at is looking at kind of providing an easement on the southern side there that would allow for some of that additional parking.
Got it, okay.
Any follow-up?
No, nothing from me. Thank you.
Okay. Kim?
Thank you. That was part of my question, wondering exactly what that was meant by that. So that's cleared that up a bit. And I also wanted to add on to what John said. I bike by there in the early morning, anywhere between 5 a.m. and 7 a.m. There are semis there, and I've often wondered how that's going to go because you've got 3, 4 semis and then trucks just idling, waiting, and they can't help it. They make noise. And I kind of wondered what future tenants might think of that.
Yeah, there is still so the surface parking lot still has an exit onto 7th Street as well as Clara. So if it does get backed up on 7th, they are able to go Clara and then straight across 7th as an option. I know Tom, I believe, mentioned those issues earlier. This city has apparently done everything they can to address the signage so the trucks get going the right way, but they still go the wrong way, I've been told. So not exactly sure. I obviously can't do anything about that from here, but we're going to certainly make tenants aware of that so they're not surprised when they're occupying our units.
Right.
So,
And they're a
yep.
business that's been there for a lot of years, and they make noise.
Yep,
They
we
can't
heard
help it.
We heard it, and luckily our apartments are up and back off the road a little bit. I think we'll be okay, especially with the use of sound deadening and, yep, so. I appreciate the concerns and thoughts, though.
John, you had another question?
I would just like to add to that comment and state that, one of the in my conversation with Tom, he did state that they try to have scheduled deliveries for their trucks, but they can't control when the trucks arrive and when they don't. And if they're parking illegally or doing something illegal, he has no problem with the city enforcing existing traffic laws for those trucks. And that's on them. He doesn't really care about that. But, they do their best to try to schedule these things during normal work hours where it wouldn't have an adverse effect to the neighbors.
Thank you. Other questions? Seeing none, are there any motions?
Move to approve.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor of approval, state aye.
Aye.
Any objections? Chair votes aye, that is approved. Next item, on the specific implementation plan amendment by Malibu Apartments LLC to construct the Malibu Apartments on parcel number 592813183990. Elise?
These are looking at all the same changes that we have just discussed.
Right. Additional questions? Moved and seconded. All those in favor state aye. Aye. Any objections? Chair votes aye, that is approved. Next meeting, October 15th. We've exhausted the agenda. What is the commission's pleasure?
Move to adjourn.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor? Aye. We're adjourned at 4:18.